Okay. Well, I'm recording. We'll see what happens.
You go to adjust it on the movie.
I can adjust it. Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, thank you for being here again, Asa.
100%.
Fucking iGen. Since our conversation, somebody said iGen, which I thought was really funny. I heard of it as Gen Z, but they know it as iGen, like the iPhone. It's kind of funny.
Generation Z.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. Anyway, so, you know, I just want to say I appreciate how comfortable you are in your skin for your age, and I noticed that when I was watching the video of you. So it's pretty cool, man. I wish I would have been more comfortable in my skin when I was younger. You know, it's a good thing to accomplish as a person. I think a lot of people are afraid of their own skin, and it's cool to see. Have you had any thoughts about our conversation that we had last time, or you're busy working all the time with Java?
Yeah, man, I got so much stuff going on. It's like...
Yeah, you're saying that. What's going on?
Oh, well, today. Oof. So I went up north with Ronan there, just for my days off, just to get away from SB. And I came back, and because I over prepared, like I went like full blown over prepared last week. So this week, you know, I kind of like cruise into things, not like have to like hustle into them. But like today, I woke up and I got like literally everything I needed to be done throughout the morning before we even opened, and I still started at the same time. I got like all 3 meats cooked by 7 o'clock. I got everything we need, like all the onions sliced before we even opened. I got all the chai. We have like endless amounts of chai tea. Like,
isn't that cool how when you're like working at a comfortable pace, you can get so much done faster than when you're like rushing to?
Yeah, 3 in the morning. Like I at 3:30, and that's like the usual time I get here, and I feel like I still like, I don't know.
Crushed it.
Maybe the ovens cook the shit faster, but I don't know.
Yeah, but I think there's a couple things that I think maybe we left a little untouched in the last conversation, and I'd like to try to capture a little bit about the essence of how it feels to be your age today. Where do you feel that the state of affairs is in the world? Like, I mean, honestly,
it sucks.
And as somebody who's like coming into the workforce, and someone who's coming into the voting population, and coming into like the real world, like how does that feel?
I feel like I got a jump start on the real world because I had been like leaving home to like go to school elsewhere, and like my parents didn't move with me, so I've always been very independent, and along with that comes like my own decisions, like independent, like the right choices, like right decisions. And I always felt like I always have really good judgment, and especially just like growing up with 3 older sisters, like they always taught me like, they always just like growing up with them, they taught me how to respect women. But
no, that's important.
And how to treat them.
I mean, it's not just women. Treat the other people around you with respect, man.
Yeah. There's
no reason to disrespect anyone. If you can treat other people with respect, that will come back to you in
100%, and with love too. Mm-hmm. It may take a lot longer, but
honesty
it does.
Too. Like even if you think that what you're telling them is going to hurt them, if you tell them honest truth, people are going to respect the shit out of you for that.
Mm-hmm.
That's really important.
I don't know. I just think living nowadays, with everything you said, like voting, politics, and just where the world's going, I think it sucks because there's so much like stimulation going on. You know, with kids growing up, like everyone has a fucking iPhone, like you said, iGen, like everyone has.
I just learned something recently that high school kids now, it's mandatory that they have an iPad, and the school gives them an iPad.
Yeah.
That's I didn't even know that. That's wild to me.
So
every kid has an iPad.
Last year, only the sophomores had them, like, at my school, but now it's 9th through 12th grade all have iPads, and you have to use them because it's through, like, their school system, like Neo, which is where, like...
how do you think that's going to affect people's eyes? Do you think it's good for your eyes to stare at that screen all day? Because there's something different between a Kindle screen Because you know what I mean? Those
It's not-
screen,
yeah.
it's not like bright light
It's
in
not
your
LED.
face like this thing, like
Yeah.
kind of annoying. But you're staring at that shit the whole day long. That's got to have an effect, right? I mean, I don't know, but
I feel like I do a fair share of staring at a screen like when I'm producing, but
Yeah.
I always take breaks. And like, there's some kids who like
I have
literally.
these glasses for my screen at night because my eyes started
Yeah.
getting hurt because
Yep.
staring at the screen, specifically at night, it really messed with my eyes. I think it's because our circadian rhythm, we're supposed to not be staring at lights at night. We're supposed to be in more of a dark area
Like falling asleep.
next to a fireplace, hanging out with some people and eating good food, you know?
Yeah. I don't know, I guess the thing, like, I'm used to staring at, like, a TV screen, like, producing,
Yeah.
and I always take breaks, but there's some kids in my high school who, like, never even touched their iPad. They just threw it in, like, their room and never used it, and then there's kids who are all over them. It's, like, all they have, you know,
Yeah.
like, whether they're given the opportunity to have a phone or anything, it's, like, all they have, so, like, they're always on it.
Okay, so here's a question. Do you think that our education system prepares you for the real world?
Oh, don't get me started.
No, I mean, honestly.
So, I'm gonna bring you back to Vermont.
Okay.
Their grading system was fucked up. In 7th, my class was the guinea pig class for this new proficiency-based grading. I'm talking East Coast education. This shit sucked.
Yeah.
So growing up, every 2 years we had to defend why we can move on to the next grade. So 8th grade, I had to present a bunch of papers and projects to be like, I met like habits of heart, habits of mind, habits of heart, mind, heart, and work. And each of those had like citizenship, adaptability, love for others, or like, you know, like fucking all that shit. And so you had to like tell why this, like, that project met those standards, and then you could pass, and you had to defend it. And then
Wow.
so what they're doing now is they're not giving you a letter grade, they're giving you like, oh, you're proficient in this, because like every kid's different. They want to make like every kid's different, every kid needs their own like pace, right? So they want to make it so like I could literally fudge off all of high school and be proficient and still graduate, but on
It's
a
either you're proficient, so there's no A, B, C, D.
it's pass or
either-
fail,
Wow.
and it's messed up because it's putting on the
That's
kid.
like the whole like trophy syndrome with our kids, like giving every kid a trophy when they don't earn it. Like that's, I mean, honestly, that's kind of one of the biggest problems with our country today is that there's so many weak-minded people, and I mean this in the most gentle way possible, because if you're weak-minded, you're probably going to take offense to that. And you know, we're taught to be coddled. We're taught that we should whine and complain about shit because we'll get our way. And I mean, I used to be that way for a
Every
long
kid.
time, and I still, you know, I still see myself doing it every once in a while. But at least now I'll catch myself on and be like, oh shit, I'm better than that, you know. But I think that one of the biggest problems really is the fact that if you win, you should be rewarded for that, and you should feel like you deserve that because you work for it.
an
And that's the
actual
thing,
dub,
is
like
that
not like
you-
some,
yeah, I mean the whole give a kid a trophy is, it's not the way that I was raised, so it's just interesting to me.
like you play hard in a basketball game, you deserve to play, like, start the next game, you know what I mean? Like you bust your ass in practice, you deserve to be a starter. It's like bro, I rode the
Yeah.
bench. I was still really good, and I was just like, this is stupid. And like I just, and like
Yeah,
to touch
politics.
back onto like the proficiency based grading.
Hmm.
Colleges don't read pass or fail. They look at numbers. They look at like GPAs.
Yeah. So what happened when you were going to college? Did they say what
I
kind of bullshit?
I moved
grading
out
is-
here.
Yeah, but
So I don't know what the hell is going on.
But when your friends were going to school, did colleges say, "Hey, what the fuck is this? Like, how are we supposed to tell if you're a good student or not?"
So Vermont colleges,
Yeah.
because where a lot of kids from Vermont go, because it's free pretty much. Like in-state is practically free for them because it's so small. They all, I don't know the whole details, but somehow they all integrated in a way, like they all know their thing. But anywhere else, couldn't tell you.
Wow.
I mean,
Interesting.
my class was the last class to have like letter grades pretty much.
Okay.
I don't know about the other younger grades.
Mm.
But out here, I busted my ass throughout high school. Yeah, I coasted, but I literally got A's and B's. I only had one C throughout high school, but I still, like, cruised through.
Yeah.
And here I am not going to college because I don't feel like I want it or need it. It's not what I
Well,
desire.
college is kind of overrated and overpriced. if you ask me. You're not getting the smartest people I know didn't go to college. They were above it. They realized, oh, I can learn more about what I'm interested in if I just put my mind towards it. If I'm going to college, they make me study all this bullshit that I'll never even use, and it costs me money. It slows me down in the long run. The smart people, they read right past that shit. I wasn't smart enough, obviously. I went to college.
I was smart enough to move out here because I heard if you graduated from one of the 3 local high schools, you get 2 years of CC for free.
That's true.
That was my intention.
Yeah.
Didn't do it.
Well, fair enough, though. I mean, a degree can benefit you in a way. You know, a degree can pay off by somebody hiring you because they see, oh, this person has that on their resume.
Right.
But really, most jobs you get through networking, through knowing someone, or through your own personality and your willingness to show that you deserve to get a job. And every time I've tried to get a job, I've gotten one. And I try to work jobs now that are a lot more, they feel right to me. That's why I'm doing the farmer's market and bartending and stuff. I don't have to work as hard.
You still like doing it.
And I still enjoy it, exactly. Yeah, but back to the question. The preparedness for the real world. What do you think that you did not get from school to prepare you? Because I think today parents don't have time to teach kids shit about life. So it's kind of our school's responsibility. If our culture doesn't allow parents to have time to teach the children these things, we have to make sure that our education system is teaching the kids they need to know to get by once they're out of school. My issue with school is I look at kids, they come out of school, nobody knows how to cook, nobody knows how to clean, nobody knows how to do their laundry. Like, you look at people's houses, it's full of dishes and laundry, and nobody vacuums, and windows get dirty, and there's mold in bathrooms because nobody cleans the bathroom. And it's kind of a problem in our society because people don't realize how dirty they're being and how much they're affecting their health, and that eating those Cheetos is not good for them, and that watching TV for 6 or 8... The last time, I don't even know what it is now, but the last time I saw the statistics of how much people watch TV, obviously I don't have a TV. I play on my computer, but that's all pretty much work, and I like to stay off of the TV for the most part because it just sucks you in.
That's your brain.
Yeah, it makes you lazy as fuck. But anyway, back to what? How do you feel about the school system? What did you get out of it? What did it prepare you for?
My younger years taught me well. High school didn't teach me shit.
Why?
So, 7th grade, 8th grade, I learned, how to do my laundry, even though I still already knew, but, I still, it pushed me to, oh, go home, do your laundry, have your parents sign that you did it.
They actually made you do that. That's cool.
Yeah, and so,
they didn't do that in my school.
And I want to say this was the only one class I learned how to do anything that I moved forward with. 7th grade was living arts, so you learn, we cooked a couple things, and we did our laundry, and we learned, super small things. We learned about, family ethics.
At 12 years old, that's a good age to do that.
Yeah, and then the rest of high school, I learned nothing. Everything else I learned on my own. Through jobs, through making friends. I'm a very social person, and if I wanted to know something, I would seek the right person to find it. I'd ask someone, they'd direct me to someone else, whatever.
Here's a question for you. Teachers. Do you have teachers who were impactful?
Have I had?
Yeah.
Let's just say growing up, I was definitely a star in the dark. Oh, no, that's not the right one. A lot of teachers recognize me as someone different because, as you know, I'm someone who comes from my own skin. In a more, different way, I was still above in a way. I had my mind. I was more mature for a lot of the kids in my grade.
You know those things.
And
that's okay to say it.
Okay. Teachers noticed that, and they, my dad used to work at the school, and he'd always say, oh, so-and-so misses you, and, all this. Anyway, I only went to this. Teachers look up to me, they, like me. I like them because I had more of a real, less than a teacher-student, more of, a friend-to-friend.
First the person. Man, doesn't. Yeah.
And it was so much better.
That's how you should really.
That's really all I got out of school. I learned from them one-on-one.
But were there any teachers that really stood out and like really made like that when you were, for example, for me, the reason why I asked that is because when I was in school, it was funny because I would have certain teachers who would stand out to me, and it would be in a subject that I wasn't necessarily really interested in, but it would make me more interested in the subject, and I'd end up learning a lot more about that than I would have with a different teacher, you know. So I think that teachers make a pretty big difference on
100%.
on the student, and I think that we don't give the teachers who actually put in that effort, we don't give them enough credit. I think the teachers actually in general don't get enough credit because they have to work real fucking hard to do what they do.
I'd say I've had and I still have really great relationships with some teachers. There have been 2 teachers my senior year. One teacher was photography class, and I have my own style. Like, it can be dark, it can be but like most of the dark side, because she was like a punk growing up, you know. Like, her mom was like JF.
Then they know, yeah, totally.
And so she understood me.
You go through a tough time, and you kind of have a little bit more of an understanding for people, I think.
Yeah, and so this teacher
sensitive side
noticed something that was for me was subconscious, but when she said it, I was like that's exactly what I was going for. Like with this picture, like the editing, she's like, oh, it reminds me of this. I'm like she like understood because like I put my feelings into it. And my other teacher, econ teacher, he was just as aware and observant and like as I am. Like, I'm very like perceptive, so like I can read people really well. I'm very I catch on to things really quick, and he was the same way with like towards me. He'd be like, oh, like skip class, but like I don't know. It was just like he just knew like he was just funny. He was a good teacher, and he never busted me for anything because he knew I was a good kid.
Yeah, that's important too. Is that
I respect those teachers.
Yeah, I was lucky too, man. I had some teachers who knew I worked hard. They knew I was a good kid and I wasn't trying to cause trouble. So when I did cause trouble, they kind of made sure that I didn't have to.
Yeah, suffer the consequences, right?
Yeah, totally.
And they're like, oh,
I was lucky for that reason. Man, I'm lucky in general, man. There were so many times that I fucked up and I should have paid the consequences a lot harsher than I did. And you know, thankfully, just being in the right place in the right time, or being a white boy and I mean, honestly, it pays off. It's
without the beard.
Yeah, and, you know, now it's probably not the same. Long hair and beard, you stand out a little different than short hair and clean face.
Yeah.
But I mean, in general, I just think that our people are a little undereducated.
100%.
And we need to work together to grow. You know, it comes with driving on the road. Like why are we so dumb at driving? Why is it so hard for people to get from point A to point B safely and without pissing somebody off or doing something that's dangerous? You know, how do we move forward as the next generation? What are we supposed to do? What do you think?
It's a big world.
It is. It's a very big world, but it's full of very simple answers. Is what I come to find is that the answers are a lot simpler than.
For me, what I would do as the next step, I don't know about collectively. I like to do a lot of things like. I mean,
but you start with yourself, right?
Right, and so like what I like to do is just plant seeds in people, let them notice that. Like, let them open up to this point where like they know me they know me, not just be all fake and be like, oh, good morning, but like I have them like know me. Like, a lot of people out here aren't willing to open up, so like that pushes them to want to know more, and for them to be interested in who I am and like my past, and then for them to learn more from me, whether it's like life or whether it's just like things I do like music. You know, I don't know. I don't got much going on, but like I like to definitely try to carry the spiritual aspect towards people.
Well, you know, you're in a place right now where you're still growing, you're young, and you're working your ass off. This kid literally works every fucking day. Every day I'm here, he's here.
3 a.m, baby.
Day or night. It's
3 to 1.
It's 8 o'clock at night right now, and he's still here. He'll be here tomorrow at 3 a.m.
Yes, sir.
That's the kind of people who I like to be around. You know, the people who work hard and they have good intentions. I appreciate that. I also think that it's important that we support each other too, and that we give each other words of encouragement, even when it's unexpected or like, or even undeserved. Sometimes you just need to give it to people because you see that they need that, you know. And
I've spent a lot of time throughout my life, because I've been a Christian since I was 14, like helping people, because like all I know how to do is to show people God's love in a way. And it's like throughout my life, it's been like super hard to try to find a balance where I don't like preach, but I'm also just like that I love someone, and well, it's like really hard.
It's tough, man. I was a Christian for a long time, and I'm not religious, but I'm very spiritual, and I think that that's something that, I mean, I relate very much with the Christians because I feel that they have the right intention, they have the right mindset, but yeah, most. Well, the idea is there. It's what the purpose behind the religion is supposed to be a good one. You know, the intention is for people to have better morals and to be better people and look out for each other and that kind of stuff. But it's all confused by greed and money and church. So it's tough to be religious for me. I find it easier to be spiritual. I think that whatever God is out there is a much better God than the church makes him out to be. Yeah. I think that whatever spirit is out there is there to help us and to teach us these lessons. And that's why I think when you're open to learning lessons, you get the kick in the ass and you say, oh man, now I understand that thing. And instead of getting kicked in the ass and saying, fuck you, and then getting kicked in the ass 1,000 times and never learning your lesson. Because a lot of people, they play that game for their whole life. And,
oh yeah, 100%.
They'll be able to see other people's flaws, and they'll be able to call out other people out, but they'll never see their own thing, and therefore they can't really call anyone else out on that stuff. Nobody will ever listen to.
And by the time they're 40, they got no friends, and they got so much that they're dealing with that I've already been dealing with since I was like, I put past behind me since I'm 18, you know, so like that's crazy.
Yeah, but even if they do end up at that point, my hope is that somebody can say the right thing to that person so they can say, oh man, maybe I wasn't doing things to my maximum potential and I can grow and become a better person. And then they grow from there and they make new friends and become better. But you know, you can't allow those people to slow you down. You can't. You can't allow the people to come in between you and your growth, whether it be a friend or a girlfriend or whatever it is, you know. So a boss, man, that's one of the biggest things that I don't really think about anymore, but it destroyed me for a long time. Excuse me. But yeah, I think for the most part people are good and we all want to do good for each other. We want to grow ourselves and grow with each other, and we're kind of taught in our society to kind of feel insecure and not talk about those things and not touch people and to be afraid of exactly, to watch TV.
Kiddie pool.
Yeah, kiddie pool.
Supposed to deep end.
Hey, don't ever go to that nude beach because you might see a penis. It'll freak you out. Like, who cares, dude? Dude, everyone looks the same naked. I've had this conversation with one of my friends a couple times. He's always insecure about his size. Yeah. And he said that his girlfriend said that he was 8 inches. And he was like, yes, that's awesome. And I'm like, dude, if your girlfriend thinks you're 8 inches, like, dude, like, you are worried too much about something that really doesn't matter. So, like, anyway, I think that it's just, you know, these are all cultural things, and it's very in our society today. It's in our media and shit. And I think it's interesting to have these conversations with somebody a little bit younger too, especially somebody who's open with that. I think it's cool you've been to the nude beach and you've been to, like,
bro, all summer.
You know, it's amazing.
After a hot day at work, I just mob there and empty my mind.
That's great. I know. I'm actually planning on going there, not tomorrow, but Thursday is the shortest day of the year. It's December 21st, so I'm going to go out there with my GoPro and do a time lapse on the beach and try to get, like, a nice sunrise shot.
Bro, it's going to be so cold.
Yeah, but you know what, man? It's, like, cold here is, like, it's going to be 55 degrees at 7 in the morning. I'll be okay. I'll be out there doing some exercise or meditation or writing.
I'll bring you some coffee.
Dude, if you do, I would be so stoked.
Bro, you know how many, I counted how many steps it took to get from, like, once you hit the dirt to once you get to the steps.
You counted that? Mm-hmm. How many steps?
865.
865?
My steps, yeah.
That's huge steps. Dude, that should be like 2,000 steps. That's a long fucking walk.
I mean,
What is it, like 3/4 of a mile?
like just like that one stretch of the horses.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I count 865.
You have the longest. This guy's like 6'4".
I got long legs.
And then you have to walk down 865 steps.
I know that I
It's
hate
so
that, and you
fun.
get your foot caught on like a rod, and it like
And you just have to like catch your balance running down
it hurts.
the steps. They're like, one will be this high and the next will be that high, and there'll be a piece of
Like
rebar
metal.
sticking out of one
holding
of
up a
them.
log.
Yeah, it's
People put cups on there so you wouldn't like step on them. It's
and I
funny.
always do that barefoot too. So.
Oh, me too.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I should probably get to work, and you should probably too.
More work, off the clock, not getting paid. Oh, didn't say that. It's okay. It's for Java.
It is okay.
Cigarette
David
first.
deserves it, man. He's such a good guy. I really
know.
appreciate it.
He doesn't like it when I do that because I get burnt out, but like that was a long time ago. But now I'm chilling. Plus my girl's in there, so it makes it easier.
It does, right? You're
Motivates.
just hanging with your lady. Cool. All right. Peace and love. Thank you, people, for being here. Hope you're having a great day, and hope you try to keep that positive attitude so tomorrow's even better.
Gratitude, attitude, baby. That's what it's about.
Yeah.